Resident Evil 9 Requiem is an absolute masterpiece, and after about a month
of this being out,
I decided it deserves a video. So before we get started, I know, where the hell have I been? I'll address that in a minute. But I sat down, locked myself in a room, and survived off nothing but cold Chipotle delivery, and played this absolute masterpiece. Let me tell you before we get into the nitty gritty, we gotta talk about the return of Leon S. Kennedy, the king. He's back, and he's got the cheesiest one-liners.
Sorry, pal. I don't think we're gonna click. Wow. I guess that's the last of them.
I love every single second of it. Listen to me right now. This video is going to spoil everything, every twist, every death, every receding hairline. If you haven't played the game and care about the story, click off right now. Go play it. You've been warned. First up is Grace Ashcroft. She's an FBI intelligence analyst, but more importantly, she's the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft. Yeah, the journalist from Resident Evil Outbreak. So Capcom is really bringing back the old lore. Grace is an introvert and a workaholic, and chat, she's kinda bad though. Her main motivation is finding out who murdered her mom 8 years ago in the Wrenwood Hotel. So Grace's first assignment from her boss is snooping around this creepy ass hotel because of a mysterious death. But she actually finds some hidden data disk her mom left behind. All of a sudden, boom, this officer who let us in kind of just pops up, and we end up flipping him out the window.
Bye, have a great time.
Later to get ambushed and kidnapped by Victor Gideon. This dude is a former Umbrella scientist and the exact piece of crap who murdered our mom. Damn! Grace then wakes up upside down in this medical facility called the Center. She has to escape this cell, but immediately gets hunted by this massive, terrifying, mutating thing called the Girl. It's basically Mr. X, but on bath salts and Adderall. Meanwhile, our boy Leon pulls up to the scene just to see Grace getting taken away to the facility. Playing as him again can be so smooth. The combat, the shooting, you're not just some scared little girl. They really nailed the separation between the two characters. Chasing Victor, we end up at the Center. Gideon flips a switch and releases a mutated strand of the T-virus. And can we just quickly mention how this place looks exactly like the RE1 mansion, even though it's a medical facility? All of the staff and patients turn into zombies, the facility goes into lockdown, and Leon and Grace find each other but get separated. Typical Resident Evil BS. As soon as Grace is sneaking around avoiding the girl, she finds and rescues this blind young girl named Emily. And this is where the game really is able to separate itself out with action and horror. Grace is supposed to be played in first person while Leon is in third person. The balance here, again, could have been done completely wrong, but they just nailed it. Grace is the babysitter for Emily here on forward, and they are trying to escape, running into two different sections of the game. One is the basement section, and two is the helicopter escape, where Leon has to provide cover to Grace while carrying Emily, but Emily gets seriously injured. Grace then manages to kill her stalker, the girl, by exposing her to daylight, which was actually super satisfying. I was just annoyed with this thing the entire game. Emily then mutates into a monster that Leon quote-unquote puts down, leading into another dramatic cry sesh like the Resident Evil 6 Helena scene.
I'm gonna make him pay for this.
And she runs off with Victor and some other dude. Now at this point, we have to go back to Raccoon City, and I totally thought this section of the game was going to be nostalgia bait, but it wasn't at all. Leon takes over for this section of the game. It introduces us to all of his mechanics. The buy machines. Yes, sadly, we don't get no Resident Evil 4 trader again.
Got something that might interest you.
Here we are able to see what really happened to Raccoon City, and we have to annoyingly get 3 C4 parts to progress further into Raccoon City. I honestly thought this open world section was pretty cool. Killing a couple of bosses and going through a notable motorcycle scene where we quote-unquote kill Victor. I say that with giant quotation marks because what happens in Resident Evil games is if you don't actually see the person die, they're probably still alive. Leon and Grace are finally linked back up in the elevator of the Ark, which is a massive secret laboratory directly under Raccoon City. Grace finds herself separating from Leon and finding old videos of an unpublished interview between her mom and Spencer, confirming the old man engineered this entire scenario from beyond the grave. And guys, this is where the game just starts dropping war bombs on us like World War III. Turns out Grace isn't Alyssa's daughter. She was originally an orphan at Raccoon City Orphanage, who got adopted by Oswell E. Spencer. Yes, the founder of Umbrella himself. Apparently, the old bastard felt a tiny shred of remorse before he died. And to stop the rival syndicates, like the Connections, from getting his research, he secretly gave Grace to Alyssa to raise in hiding. And Emily, the blind girl, she is a straight-up clone of Grace, created by the Connections. But they consider her a failure because she's missing a specific component in her blood that Grace just naturally has. All of this ties into the main MacGuffin of the game, Elpis. Victor Gideon is obsessed with extracting Elpis from Grace. He thinks it's Spencer's ultimate bioweapon. While this is all going down, Leon is fighting for his life. He runs into a squad of Umbrella Corp soldiers led by Hunk, working for this guy named Zeno. Now, who the hell is Zeno? He's a slick-haired, sunglass-wearing clone of Albert Wesker who possesses superhuman speed and needs 7 minutes. Basically, Wesker 2.0. The guy is an absolute menace. But let's talk about Leon versus Hunk boss fight real quick. Holy shit, heavily reminiscent of the Krauser knife fight from Resident Evil 4 Remake. The movement just felt pretty smooth. I enjoyed this fight. At the end, we slit his throat. I don't know if he's actually dead because we see his body disappear in a cutscene later on. Back to the main chamber of the game, Grace and Leon are cornered by Victor and Xeon, demanding Elpis out of her. Grace threatens to take her own life. But the biggest twist is, Elpis isn't a virus. It's the ultimate antiviral cure. It was designed to systematically hunt down and destroy all traces of viruses made by this guy. Zeno, being an arrogant prick, injects himself with it, expecting to go Super Saiyan. Instead, the cure instantly neutralizes all of his viral enhancements. He basically turns back into a regular dude with a bad attitude and a weird hairline. This leads to the final choice of the game. If you choose the bad ending, which I did at first, and destroy Elpis, Zeno panics, manages to grab Leon, and literally makes his head explode before the whole lab collapses. It's dark hell, definitely non-canny. I at first thought this was the real ending. But the good ending, the canon ending, you release Elpis. Because Zeno is weakened, Victor turns on him, kills him. Victor then mutates using the same parasite that created the Nemesis boss fight. After you pump 1,000,000 rockets into this guy, Grace uses Elpis to cure Leon of his latent viral infection of the past games. Trapped in a collapsed lab, Leon and Grace are rescued at the absolute last second by Hound Wolf Squad. They drop down and say this.
Leon S. Kennedy?
Depends who's asking.
Alpha, you read me, sir? Yeah, they're safe. I got them. Yes, sir.
Yo.
Mr. Kennedy, I have a message from Captain Redfield.
BSAA! Boom. That's about it. The game ends with Grace talking to Leon and his wishes with Emily because she is still alive. We also find out that Leon is married. But guys, this game was incredible. I played this thing all the way through and couldn't get away from it over the weekend. So if you enjoy these breakdowns, make sure you guys join the Discord and hit the like button. It means a lot. I'll see you in the next.